murders. Now then. Apparently I'm already a fifth of the way done, and I've only done A. So A, B, C, D... That's only gonna go down to E, apparently, before I actually catch the crook, I guess. Or I actually did that much effort in the first one that I've done. I'm that close to already figure out who it is. In which case, I'm still surprised.
It may be time to go to Scotland Yard.
It may be time to go to
Scotland.
To Scotland Yard, please.
Wait, there we go. Welcome, welcome. I do love seeing that number climbing.
Jap has invested a great deal in his career. Jap is an investigator greatly respected by his peers.
Ooh.
Like all hunters, Hastings has always been fascinated by weapons. Alice Asher was murdered in Andover, the ABC killer's first murder. London. I really like this city. One thing is certain, you never get bored here.
So as this game goes on, I'm putting more pins will go down. Wonderful.
Jap appears to be snowed under. Jap appears to already be overloaded with work. My news is not going to improve matters.
Ooh, no.
Bonjour, Chief Inspector. I am afraid we have some bad news. I have just received another letter signed ABC. The next crime will be on the 25th in Bexhill-on-Sea.
Are you completely sure it's from the same person?
I have compared the two letters. There is no doubt about it.
I suppose you think he's going to carry out his threats.
I fear so.
Good God, Poirot. Bexhill is very busy at this time of year, and we have no idea who the next victim will be.
No.
I suspect that the name of the second victim will start with B.
What on earth makes you think such a thing?
I thought about it when I saw the name Asher clearly written over the shop door of the unfortunate woman who was murdered in Andover last month. When I received a letter mentioning Bexhill, I deduced that the victim, like the town, might have been chosen by alphabetical order.
So it's an alphabet fiend. I'm going to have a list drawn up of all the people whose name starts with B. I hope there aren't too many of them.
Bien. We should leave you to work, Chief Inspector.
You have a few days to prepare yourself.
Oh, bloody hell.
Poirot?
Chief Inspector Jap, your call does not bode well.
Indeed, we have just found the body of a young woman on the beach in Bexhill. An ABC was placed on the body.
We'll be there as soon as possible.
Oh, bloody hell. We did everything we could and it still failed.
Bexhill is a delightful town. It would be nice to come back and visit.
I do not entirely agree. Walking at the beach damages my shoes, and it hurts my knee.
So the years have not spared you, my friend. It's the same for all of us.
That is exactly what I said to myself when I saw you back from your travels.
Poirot!
Do not be offended, Hastings. I can see Jap waiting for us. And from his face, I would say that things are not looking good.
Really? This is such a well-made game, though. I mean, let's face it, it has Agatha Christie's name on it, which, by default, Agatha Christie does have good work.
How do you do, gentlemen?
Chief Inspector?
I fear your admirer has struck again, Poirot. We haven't yet identified the victim, but it's a young woman, 20 to 25 years old. Death occurred last night between 11:30 and 1 o'clock, and we found an ABC guide on the body.
Was she pretty?
Come on, Poirot, that's rather out of place. It has no bearing on the murder.
Are you certain? For women, it is often the most important thing. It often decides their destiny.
The body hasn't been moved. You can see for yourself.
Has the press been informed?
Not yet, but I'm planning to. I haven't yet informed them about the presence of the ABC guide in Andover.
Nobody has reported a young woman missing?
Not for the moment.
No witnesses, I imagine.
Indeed. We've asked everybody who may have met a young woman fitting her description last night to come and see us, but I have little hope of gaining anything from it.
It's early days, Chief Inspector, and the news may not have spread around the town yet.
I hope you're right, Hastings.
Jolly good.
Hastings appears to be ill at ease. He appeared to be relatively indifferent to Mrs. Asher's murder, but a young woman's murder seems to be troubling him greatly.
Alright, so she's been strangled.
She was a great beauty. Strange that Jap didn't notice it. These marks have been left by a rope or a braided cloth. This key is too small to be one for a house. Without a doubt, it is for a padlock. The guide is open at the page for the Bexhill train times. The young woman wasn't wearing shoes or a coat and was not carrying a bag. That's strange. Either the murderer stole her belongings or she put them somewhere safe. Maybe so that she could bath. A braided silk belt. It may have belonged to the victim. Apart from the marks on her neck, there are no signs of the struggle. She didn't manage to hit her assailant. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
She didn't struggle. There's a braided silk.
The poor child must have been strangled with his braided belt. Unfortunately, in view of the fabric, it is unlikely that we will find any prints. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Oi. Oh, yeah. Because the press isn't
Medical
aware.
officer
So.
should confirm that the victim was strangled with her own belt.
That's what I thought. She shows the usual signs of strangulation.
With a little luck, we'll find prints this time.
You are too optimistic, Hastings. Our killer is far too meticulous for that. Hastings appears to be ill.
Alright, so.
There is no doubt about it. Bexhill has one of the most...
Alright.
This key is too small to be one for a...
Oh no, I took the key already then. Let's take a look at it. And it's number 6. 987 6. Oui? Uh, 715. Oui?
A dual locking padlock. It definitely was here that the victim left her belongings. Betty's first day at work. Mom is very proud of you. Elizabeth Barnard, 7 August 1931. So, the young lady did have a name starting with B, and she worked as a ginger cat, an establishment that must be slightly further along the beach.
Hmm.
The purse is full. Yet again, we can dismiss theft as the motive for the murder. Here is the watch she must have removed to prevent it from getting wet. A top-brand lipstick. She liked to take care of her appearance. As well as a photo of the victim with some company. It could be useful to me.
Jap has gone to the police. The victim has been identified and her family had reported her disappearance. She was called?
Elizabeth Barnard, mainly Betty. She worked as a ginger cat at the cafe slightly further along the beach.
But Poirot, how on earth?
Never mind. Do you have her address?
Yes, she lived with her parents on the street leading to the beach, number 22. Shall we go?
You are far too impatient, Hastings. Let the poor people take in the news first. Let us go and visit the cafe where Betty worked.
Aye. Yes, this is basically like a Sherlock Holmes game, which is not bad. And I can't complain at all about it.
I'll be with you in a minute, gentlemen.
What a pity. I don't have any change to make it work. Hastings would probably like us to rest here. This is a well-laid table. Nothing is out of place and, above all, no creases.
Well, they take great pride in their work. He is an egomaniac. He must observe himself in a mirror.
A delightful cafe.
Yes, indeed. Something tells me that she's the owner of the ginger cat. This woman must be the owner of the ginger cat. It looks like something is bothering her.
How can I help you?
A hot chocolate and a tea for my friend, please.
I'll bring it straight away.
I need to know the time range during which Betty was working on her own. This page won't help me. Where is Betty? Betty worked from 11 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Would she have been alone at any time during her service? Betty worked from 11 a.m. Interesting. Betty was alone between 5 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. Who did she serve? These are the different waiting staff's bills. Which ones were... Where is Betty?
Alright, so her 7:30s have a exaggeration to them.
Most probably a single man, a whiskey lover, maybe the murderer. This bill may have been written by Betty. There is probably another one.
No. No. Oui.
No, something's not right. Betty was alone at just one of these two times. Most probably a single man. This bill may have been written by Betty.
This one.
Most probably a family. Betty served a family and a man on his own, a whiskey drinker, maybe the murderer. This information will help me to progress.
What? Gentlemen, what are you doing?
We are searching for clues, mademoiselle. My name is Hercule Poirot. I am a detective, and this is Captain Hastings. Does Betty Barnard work here?
That is correct. She should have been here a while ago. Punctuality is the first rule of politeness.
I fear that Miss Barnard will not be coming today. She has just been found, dead, on the beach a few hundred meters from the cafe.
How awful. Poor young thing. What happened?
She appears to have been murdered.
This is most distressing. How this will affect my business, I shudder to think.
Nope. Ask
What
what
can you tell us about Miss Barnard?
Nothing, absolutely nothing. Miss Barnard was my employee. Her private life was none of my business.
You did know at least that she had a young man.
Indeed.
This photo was found. Is this him?
Yes, that's him all right. But I haven't seen him for some time.
Do you think there may have been some problems between them?
I'm not on those sort of terms with my staff. Now, please excuse me, I have work to do.
The customer who ordered the whiskey might provide us more information. He may have been the last one to see Betty alive.
It is an interesting idea, Hastings. Maybe he is a regular guest. What do you think, mademoiselle?
I don't think so. Our regular guests tend to order tea and cakes. At this time of the year, there are a lot of tourists about you never see again.
That's what I thought. Time to visit Betty's home.
Okay, so I don't have anything. They don't separate the Dagooray cells any. They just stay as one giant mess. You know, I'm on a new chapter. That will be a bit annoying.
How do you do, mademoiselle? My name is Hercule Poirot.
I know you. You're that detective we hear all about.
I do not know if that is a compliment, but I will take it as one for now. You are Betty's sister, I believe?
Yes. My name is Megan.
Can we come in?
Please do.
Ah, a very relaxing young lady.
My parents are at the police station. I doubt they'll be up to speaking to you later.
Do not worry, we will not bother them.
Did you know your sister's plans for yesterday evening?
No. I arrived by train this morning. My parents called me in a panic when they discovered that Betty had disappeared. She went out last night, but she didn't tell them where she was going.
What was your last conversation about?
Her new dress. She wanted a pair of black stockings to go with it. Mother brought her a pair. The very day it happened. She was crying. And to think that Betty never even wore them. Poor Mummy.
This gramophone is magnificent. It is a one-off, without a doubt. Family photos and files.
Like a light cartoony atmosphere with some realism behind it. Beautifully done.
The Barnard appeared to make music a priority in their budget. Their home is modest, but the Barnards are definitely music lovers. What is she feeling at the moment?
Well, I could definitely see the eyeliner was running from tears.
Betty's older sister is not just sad, she's angry.
So I could ask about the fiancé because I'm aware of the picture, but we may believe it's just a
Did
boyfriend.
Betty go out often?
My sister wasn't a child, sir. She used to go out. She enjoyed films, dancing. She was a very good girl who didn't hang around with men. That's what they always say, no?
The pain is making you bitter, Mademoiselle Barnard.
I'm not interested in your compassion, Mr. Poirot.
Très bien, mademoiselle. Could you at least tell me a little about Betty's young man?
His name is Donald Fraser, a very nice young man. excuse me, I have to answer that.
But of course.
Betty's room is opposite the stairs on the first floor. Feel free to take a look if you think it might be useful.
This young woman is far too clever not to have anything else for us.
Do you think she's hiding something?
That is what I'm trying to find out.
Surely you don't think she did it?
I did not say anything of the sort. But young women always ruin your judgment, Hastings. Who knows, maybe Megan was jealous of her attractive young sister.
I see. She may have had her sights on the inheritance. Or maybe she was in love with Donald Fraser.
We have to study all scenarios, even the most unlikely. But I doubt that Mr. and Mrs. Barnard are rich enough to justify murder. While I try and get Miss Barnard to talk, I would like you to try and find Donald Fraser. It should be easy to find the estate agents where he works. Bring him to the Ginger Cat. I would like to talk with him before the Chief Inspector finds him.
Because the Chief Inspector likes to think it's the husband, the boyfriend, and similar like.
Megan invited me to examine her sister's bedroom.
Oh.
It looks like Betty was also a music lover, the same as her family.
A singer, no less.
Without a doubt, Betty used to sing. Looking at all the clothes she took out, Betty must have had a problem deciding what to wear. Maybe she had a date? It looks like Betty has a very busy life. Betty liked luxury and going out, and being as pretty as she was, she probably did not have any problem getting herself invited. A box of new stocking. Something on this clock bothers me. This wooden panel is blocked. What a strange mechanism. I don't think it serves to turn the hands. The cogs are blocked by these wooden panels. This metal disc is stuck. This metal disc is stuck.
Wait a second. What?
This wooden panel is blocked. I can't open it. This decoration appears to... This decoration appears to... The cogs are blocked. The cogs are blocked by these wooden panels.
It won't let me.
The cogs are blocked by these wooden panels. The cogs are blocked by these wooden panels.
I think I have to figure out the combination first before I can even move them. Because I'm trying to grip to move them, it's not letting me move them.
The cogs are blocked by these wooden panels.
So there's nothing in here.
I definitely need an object to make these cogs turn. I definitely need an object. I definitely need an object to make these cogs turn.
Alright, so... But I don't see any time or anything on them, so...
Could the screw be slightly loose? Good. It should be possible to open the wooden panel. Look, a key. This could be useful.
I'm gonna hit myself. Three, 1, 2, 2.
Ah, something clicked on the front of the clock. This could be useful. Betty, I enjoyed a wonderful evening in your company, and I hope that we will see each other again very soon. D. My dearest Betty, I know that your art is already spoken for, but you are the most beautiful dancer I have ever had the pleasure of meeting, and I am impatient to see you again. Adrian.
Well, bloody hell. So she has several male suitors. Aye, I leveled a good little bit.
I have not finished inspecting. Medicine to prevent voice loss. Did Betty have problems with her voice? This small key should be useful to me. A record sleeve with an handwritten title. Betty must have recorded the demo. I'd be interested to hear it. A record sleeve.
Yeah, I believe I come over here to play it.
Let us see. What is this cupboard hiding? This looks like solfège. That doesn't work. I must have forgotten a step. I cannot open it. It looks like the mechanism is blocking it. That doesn't work. I must have forgotten a step. I cannot open it. It looks like the mechanism is blocking it.
Hey. And to think, this isn't even classified as a puzzle game. This is an adventure game.
There is bound to be a clue somewhere.
Okay, so... Oh, wait, I have to be musically inclined to figure this one out. Wonderful. So that's into that, which is 2 to 2 to 4. That's a fourth, so the down is a quarter. So I need... Okay.
There is bound to be a clue somewhere.
Yo plus yo. Wait a second. I'm reading that numbers wrong. So I have to... So I need to get to one of these, so... Those are that... Okay, there we go.
There is bound to be a clue somewhere.
One of y'all. Nope.
I heard the sound of a mechanism being triggered. This looks like solfège. There is probably a link.
Seven, 8T.
I just have to put the record on. That doesn't work. It looks like... That doesn't work. I must have forgotten a step. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. That doesn't work.
Then reload the needle. And start.
Oh, Donald! We're in the middle of recording.
Sorry, Betty, but it's not wise. The doctor said you should rest your voice.
You're such a killjoy sometimes.
Betty was such a good singer.
It's true. Did she have any problem with her throat?
Yes, she had to be careful with her voice. Of course, she didn't follow the doctor's advice. If Don didn't insist, she... Well, it's too late for all that now.
It looks like this woman is single, but she has feelings for someone.
No wedding ring.
She is looking so intensely at this photo. But is it really a sister that she's studying in this matter?
Betty would have a great deal. Yeah. So, she used to go out a great deal. She probably meant to plan someone, but there's a lot of visitors, so we can't use that. That's more of a potential for the murder.
They made the perfect couple, am I correct?
Yes, in a way. She was pretty and he...
Well?
He's a bright man, with a promising career ahead of him. He would have made Betty a good husband. He was always attentive and generous. Oh, a true gentleman.
I hear a note of envy in your voice.
You must have heard wrong.
If Donald was jealous, or if Betty was in love.
Donald appeared to be very much in love with your sister.
Yes, he was mad about her.
Mad, you say? Being madly in love can often be destructive, and Mr. Fraser was known for being jealous, I believe.
No more than average. Men are always slightly possessive, especially when they are with a pretty woman.
So, am I going to accuse her of lying? Am I going to ask her to cooperate? Oh, pardon. I don't think she's lying. But I don't think she's telling the whole truth, oui?
I am not your enemy, Mademoiselle Bernard.
And you are not my friend either, Mr. Poirot, sir.
Yes, but your lies are not helping Mr. Fraser, or you, for that matter.
Protecting?
This case is much more complex than you think. It would appear that your sister's murder is the second in a series that we have to stop as quickly as possible. The first was in Andover, and the same as your sister, the murderer sent me a letter informing me that a crime would be committed in that town. Now can I count on your honesty?
Yes, you have my confidence, Mr. Poirot. Don is a quiet and sensitive young man. Slightly reserved, too. And as is often the case with reserved people, when he flew into a temper, he completely lost control. He could be so violent. Betty was frightened.
And when was this?
The first time was about a year ago. But they rowed more recently. Donald found out that Betty had lied to him. She said she was going out with a girlfriend, but she went out for dinner with a married man. It was an awful scene. She told him that until they were married, she was free to go with whoever she pleased. Donald turned quite pale and started shaking and kept saying one day...
Well?
He'd commit murder.
So you were afraid that he would become our main suspect? I know that Fraser was jealous, but I wonder why you feel the need to protect him.
Exactly. Had you not told me about the case, I would never have dared to tell you about this little matter. Don loved Betty with all his heart. I can't imagine for one instant that he would hurt her.
Very good, Mademoiselle Barnard. Thank you for your help.
Fraser is at the Ginger Cat. The police haven't spoken to him, but they want to.
Très bien, Hastings. Let's see him now. Au revoir, mademoiselle. My deepest condolences to your parents.
Of course, Mr. Poirot. And don't be too hard on Don. He's more fragile than he looks.
If you say so.
Ooh, put on.
Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Wait a second.
Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Okay. The victim was pretty. Hey. Nah. Nope. Hey. So, let's see. Oh, that isn't really good. So, no. Megan loved her sister. So Megan was jealous of Betty, potentially.
You've seen Fraser, Hastings. What is your feeling?
He's a big chap. Fragile isn't exactly the word that springs to mind. I talked to his landlady before seeing him. She went to bed at 11. Fraser wasn't home yet.
Bien. Megan Barnard said he is a reserved character but with a nasty temper. We will see if this is the case.
Huh. I'm about to come across the potential suspect shortly. By the way, those ego points that you've been saying coming up, there's 600 of those in this game. So I have to get them by being him. Which means proper guesses as to how often he looks in the mirror and getting all these answers right.
How do you do, Mr. Fraser?
You're Hercule Poirot. Mr. Hastings said you wanted to speak to me.
Yes. I know that it may not be the right time, but I would like to ask you a few questions.
Observe him first, see how he's acting.
This man looks suspicious.
Always go for the eyes first, so he hasn't been sleeping. His clothes are wrinkled, so he might not have been doing well with them.
Donald Fraser is in a terrible state, as if he hadn't slept all night. And he's drinking White Horse.
Leave me alone.
He's a bloody Irishman.
Tell me that it's a mistake. That Betty isn't dead.
Sadly, your lady friend has been murdered, Mr. Fraser.
Oh, Betty, if only you'd listened.
If she had listened to you, she would still be alive. Should I take that to be a confession?
With that sort of thinking, you must send a lot of innocent men to prison. Under different circumstances, I might even find you amusing, sir.
It's no time for amusement, Mr. Fraser. It is time to find your fiancé's killer. Did you know what her plans were for the evening?
She said she was having dinner with her sister.
Yet, Megan only returned to Bexhill this morning, Mr. Fraser.
I didn't know.
Right. May I ask you what you were doing yesterday evening?
I spent the evening working.
Your colleagues can confirm this?
No, I often take work home with me.
You are lying, Mr. Fraser. As was Betty when she hid the fact from you that she was seeing other men.
Betty was a very decent young woman. How dare you sully her memory?
I am not interested in memories of her, Mr. Fraser. I am looking for a killer, and I need you to be my closest ally. That is, unless you have something to hide.
Of course I don't.
Très bien. So, what were we saying? Where were you yesterday evening?
I looked everywhere for her, but in vain. When she said she was going to have dinner with her sister on a weekday, I thought it was strange. I tried not to think about it, but I was like a lion in a cage. I was convinced she was lying. So I went round all the restaurants in the town. When I didn't find her, I went to the next town. But nothing. I must have got home about midnight or 1 o'clock.
Did anybody see?
I don't think so. I didn't talk to anybody. I was so furious.
Ah, I knew I'd find you here, Poirot. I thought the victim's young man was here.
Yes, is all yours, Chief Inspector. Let us now try and get our brain cells to work.
Donald loves Betty, but now we'll go with the... Wait, not a violent man. Betty used to go out to deal? Oi. Ooh, pardon. Alright. Donald didn't have an alibi? Well, no. So, Betty used to go out a great deal. Bloody. Alright, so. Silk wrote and marks on the neck. That's how she was killed. That's material evidence. Nope. Donald's a violent man. I actually don't know what evidence goes together. Because this is how she was killed. So the silk rope and the marks on the neck is how she was killed. Donna doesn't have an alibi, which would be what could conclude. So the two murders are premeditated, which I'll take that one out. I don't really need that. Betty used to go out a great deal, and Donna was in love with her. Donald was violent, but nope. Okay. Donald had a motive for killing because he was jealous. He doesn't have an alibi. There we go. Took a minute to figure out the whole chain there.
Fraser doesn't have an alibi and he's extremely jealous.
You are very skilled at summing up.
And yet you haven't asked Jap to arrest him.
It is too soon. But I agree, without the letters announcing the crimes, Fraser would already be behind bars. Bon, I think we have enough elements. Let's reconstruct the events at the scene of the crime.
I can't imagine how the murderer wasn't seen, though. Surely she must have struggled.
Let us try and imagine the scene.
Okay. So I'm going to have to finish this crime scene, and then I am going to call this video here. I can do one video, so this will be about a 5-parter from what it seems, because each one seems to be 20%
The killer
roughly.
and the victim are walking on the beach. Miss Betty has a bag, a belt around her waist, and carries her shoes in her hand. Both of them walk slowly to hut number 5.
Nope, they got to
Both
6.
of them walk slowly to hut number 6. Miss Betty enters the hut. She leaves without her belongings. Then she hides a code. They keep walking. Then she removes her belt.
The murderer moves behind her and then attacks her by surprise. The body falls, lifeless, on the sand.
Everything appears to match the crime scene, mon cher Hastings. That is exactly what happened.
Well, I just took a shot in the dark on that one. Although, I guess technically if he had removed the belt, she would have been suspicious of him being so aggressive at her on a date like that. So I guess logically they just kept walking till she did it herself. Would have been the proper thought.
Without the ABC, we might have suspected Mr. Asher and Mr. Fraser. But by signing his crimes, the murderer is making sure he's accused. In a way, it is very generous of him.
Generous? The murderer seduced Betty in order to lure her to the beach and kill her.
Indeed, the young woman was certainly careless, but not stupid enough to follow a stranger.
What are you planning to do, Poirot?
Return to London, mon cher Hastings.
And the fact that I had that as a perfect one was beautiful. So we'll return to London and then we will call this video.
Right, back to London. There is nothing more for us to do here.
Jap has decided to reveal details to the press. The alphabet murder is now famous.
It is not a bad idea. The more people who know, the greater our chances of finding out something of interest.
Poirot, I have a bad feeling.
I see.
Poor Mr. Poirot, not so good at these little criminal matters as you thought yourself, are you? Rather past your prime, perhaps. Let us see if you can do any better this time. This time, it's an easy one. Churston on the 30th. Do try and do something about it. It's a bit dull having it all my own way, you know. Good hunting. Ever yours, ABC.
And I can already see the A, the W, and the I.
Good hunting. Did you hear that, Poirot? The murderer seems to be taking it all as a game, a challenge. He will strike on 30th in Churston. We must warn Scotland Yard. No time to lose. We must prepare our suitcases for Churston.
Mon Dieu, it is already 10 o'clock. I will call Scotland Yard immediately.
And that is it for this ABC. I will hopefully see you in the next video, as these are some tense murders. Thank you.